Family offices were created to manage the structure and wealth of family businesses. But power, money and control can often be an explosive mix. In the first of our two-part discussion, we focus now on administrating wealth. Why use a family office instead of just going to a bank?
Well, we were, for many, many years, invested in one company. And the company was doing very well, but at some stage, it stopped, for whatever the reason. So we ended up with shares which were not doing as well, and we had to cash them or to fund alternative investments. So we use private banks and various advisors who were not doing a very good job for us because we do not understand the rule of the games. So much later, I was trained in the financial world at UBS, and I left to create the family office. And after many years, I managed to organize a platform of investment, which I think is better and more productive. Now we're moving to a multi-family office format because we think it's more beneficial for the existing family to share resources by spreading the cost with other clients or families. And we can have, and I have now, very high quality partners I could not have before because we're able to share the cost and experience over a larger platform of people and clients.
We've added some interactive elements to this series, so please answer the following question by clicking on your screen. What are the risks involved with setting up your own family office instead of just using a bank?
Well, as a family office ourselves, we've already made the decision to work with ourselves because we're very independent. We have our own ideas of where things are going, and that independence sort of lends itself to the multifamily or to the single-family office concept. I think what's coming right now is a shared service concept where you don't have a typical single investor involved or manager involved, but rather several family offices working together with banks to see what can be done, and so that we're looking at say several independent family offices sharing opportunities as opposed to a one investment manager and a traditional multi-office concept.
Tom, how does one go about setting up a family office? Presumably it's quite difficult.
It is quite difficult, I think, and you need to have a certain critical mass. You definitely need to have a good idea of what you are able to do yourself and what you need to outsource to other parties. I think there can be a wealth management angle as asset management. There can be some family offices, they have like a concierge service for the family. You can have legal advice in a family office depending on the complexity of the family. So I think for each of these elements you have to be relatively clear in your head as to what you want to build up yourself. And obviously a multi-family office is more scalable than a single family office. And where do you work with partners in order to source the content for that part of the family office?
What are the risks involved with setting up your own family office in the sense of avoiding things like fraud? We all know about the Bernie Madoff case and others before and after the recession. Is it not just safer putting your money with a bank?
I think risk management processes are generally sound in large institutions. I think your banks have to operate under pretty strict regulatory regimes. So I think there is a certain amount of comfort you can take with having your money managed by a bank. If you do it yourself, you have to make sure you have the appropriate levels of risk controls and risk management in place, because otherwise, fraud is very difficult to prevent from happening because of its very nature. But at least understanding what the positions are and understanding what could go wrong is the key to trying to prevent it from happening.
What about transparency? How does one ensure that there is transparency, and how does that affect avoiding things like fraud?
Well, the reason why we have a family office is to make our investment process more transparent and to invest ourselves and not to follow the advice of private banks or independent advisors. Highly unfortunately, for some private banks, they are selling products and not selling advice. And we realize it with Madoff and other hedge funds or private equity funds. So you have to rely more and more on your own due diligence and your own expertise. And you cannot fully trust external entities who are selling your product because their interest is biased versus yours.
That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching and make sure you join us for the next.